I don't do that. The heart sign. I don't like that. I don't like that, man. I used to do that like 10 years ago, and it was like, oh my god, it looks like a heart. But now I do not do that anymore.
Good for you. You just gained 10 respect points.
You don't do it either?
No.
No, I don't like it, man. It does my nothing.
Alright, so, oh, by the way, I really love this decal that Ourk has around his hatchery, because it really looks like an alien from the Alien movies.
Ah, it does. It really does.
And I love those series. I mean, it went a little bit downhill from Alien 3, but the first two were just stroke of genius. No early pulls coming out. That's the first thing we as casters have to point out, of course. If there were, we would be screaming in our seats. But we're not, so...
Yeah, like, a lot of people always wonder, you know, for the first, like, 5 minutes, like, we don't really have to talk about the game. We can talk about, you know, the matchup or what to expect, etc., etc. The only time we will really talk about what's going on in the game for the first 5 minutes, if there's something non-standard.
6 pull!
Yeah, you know, yeah, like, anything that you shouldn't get, pretty much, then we'll talk about it. So up until that point, we're just gonna talk about whatever.
Yep, so standard pool timing for both of these guys at around 2 minutes time, which is at around 14-15 supply. Nothing out of the ordinary. Probably both of these guys will be taking a hatchery after this and then follow it up with a gas. We already do see that Highblade's drone is moving out. So, yep, the money is just about right. One hatchery going down, second hatchery going down.
Yep, and Ourk went for an extra drone before that, so that's why there's a little bit of a delay.
Yep.
So that's fine.
But he's getting an advantage out of this because he's already one drone ahead, maybe even one drone ahead. So and you know, by the looks of it, even just like a half drone ahead. But those are really minor things that don't have a great impact on the game, as opposed to changing the order of the buildings around. Now, the next thing you got to do, if you don't watch a lot of ZVZs, of course, is of course the number of or the amount of gas being mined.
Yeah.
Because some Zerg players prefer to leave one drone mining. Some have their builds timed that you need exactly 2. And some just leave all 3, and by this you can judge the speed at which one of the Zerg players will be aggressive and or attacking.
Yeah, and Snoot has a really interesting style, because I had to cast a lot of Snoot CVZs on the Go for SC2 Cup. He does it really interesting. He gets 100 gas, pulls 2 out, gets 50 gas with that drone, makes a Baneland nest with that 50 gas, and then he puts 2 guys back on gas.
Yeah, this is actually a very defensive, economically focused build that a lot of Zergs have been favoring, because you can get defensive banelings and getting a lot of minerals in the process as well, so you can actually pump out a lot of drones. Both of these players are just on top of their injects, as we can see them injecting away. Now let's see the vision, let's check the vision, because overlord placements and overlords in general in this matchup make it so that you cannot really hide a move out from your base from your opponent. So, but you can use that also to play a little bit with your opponent and just fake a move out and count on the fact that, hey, he's going to make as many units as I have right now, but I'm not going to be attacking.
Yep. And we do have speed in production for both players, a Baneland nest in production for both players, and a spine crawler in production for both players. And they're actually identical supplies, pretty much. So this is super even build. It looks like the Baneland nest was just a defensive Baneland nest, which is something you'll see a lot of players get, because of course if a Zerglin all-in comes at you, then you kind of need Banelands or far superior control.
Yep, 2 banelings is enough to keep you safe for a very, very long time if you're on top with your micro and control. We do see a little bit of a run-by that Ourk tried here, but not being very successful with that. That was just mostly for scouting though, and he did get 0 scouts off, so he doesn't know if there are additional gases being taken in the main. 2 are being taken in the natural though, which he does know about at least one of them.
Yes.
The lair though, Ourk has started his way ahead of Highblade, and this of course will give him a huge advantage in his mute account later on, because you know he's not going to be aggressive. One baneling hit does go off. this is one of the two defensive banelings that I talked about before. And Ourk is just going to be droning unless he sees something aggressive out of Highblade, and then he will go immediately into Spire play. This is what I suspect will happen.
Yeah, and you're right, you know, mirrors is such a common thing. We do have the third incoming for Ourk, which is around the standard timing, just before the left finishes. And will he go for the Spire? I'd imagine he will, because that's what we see all the time there. There's getting dropped. And ooh, this is going to be interesting. A lot of Zerglings were just produced. Ourk, obviously now seeing it with his Overlord, has to react. He has Banelings morphing in and more Zerglings. He has 3 Banelings in total. And his third has not been scouted, but of course... Oh, I thought that... Oh my god, there's so many Banelings!
Oh my god, I think Highblade wants to finish this game before Mutas come out. I think he does not feel very comfortable going into the Muta phase of this game. He's not even getting a Spire. We do have an Overseer passing over his base, so Ourk knows that if he holds this, and that's a big if, because there's a frick ton of banelings heading his way. One is going forward, tries to get a hit off, but not killing every single one of them. Spike crawlers are being way too late, and there's just too many banelings for Ourk to deal with.
All the Banelings of Highblade do blow up on just a couple of Banelings, the Morphin Banelings, and there's only Zerglings left. There's a couple of Baneling, or one Baneling in the natural, and really good positioning. Oh, those Banelings have to connect. And more Banelings morphing in the main base, which is kind of bad because they're just going to get picked off now.
Well, at least 1 or 2 of them, but still, Banelings in the base are Banelings in the base, and Ourk cannot know how long they have been morphing. Oh my god, and every single one of them gets picked off.
Yeah, and there's one Baneling in the natural, which does blow up also a Spinecrawler, but there's still a ridiculous amount of Zerglings incoming. The third hatch has finished for Ourk, so he does have the extra bit of lava. More Banelings morphing in for him, as well as 2 Banelings run in for Highblade, and he has to be very careful. The bad connections on the Banelings, they do blow up a couple of Zerglings, and obviously hit a couple of the drones, but you need 2 Banelings to kill the drones. Muta's now popping, and that should secure Ourk's...
That is going to be GG, because Highblade's lair is only halfway done. Yeah. Spire is nowhere to be seen in the next 3 minutes or so, and if he doesn't kill Ourk with this next attack, he is not going to kill him ever. At least, I think he's not, because there's still a couple of Banelings out for Ourk.
Yeah, you know, we do have a third incoming soon for Highblade, and even a macro hatch, but like he has to start building spores, otherwise the Mutas will just, you know, run in and kill everything. Now there is a Zergling run by into the main. They could get a couple of drone kills, and even this Queen. The Queen will definitely go down. That is a nice little deal. Second Queen going down. No, nearly did. I don't know what I was clicking on then.
Killing the Queens is actually the only thing, just about the only thing that Highblade can do at this stage. Limit the production of Ourk, limit his number of his available larvae. And let's see, where are those Mutas flying about? They're in the center of the map. I think Ourk will wait for one more round of those Mutas. No, he will not. He will go ahead right now and start attacking with them.
Did you see the Baneling explosion in the center of the map?
Oh, I didn't. I missed that one.
The whole, like, it must have been like 20 to 30 Zerglings just run into 2 Banes.